Yo, what's going on with y'all boys? It's Cam, and today I'll be showing y'all how to make these vintage Florida beats for artists like Snappo, um, Veeze, Lil Tyler, Low Shimmy, etc., etc., etc. I'm gonna break down the sample, then I'm gonna break down the drums that I do on. But yeah, let's get it. Alright, so the first thing I did was I went to Keyscape and I got this E-Piano 1 gospel preset, and I laid down this melody. It may look a little confusing if you don't play the keys or you're not familiar with it, but once I break it down, it's relatively simple. I just got a regular minor chord right here, just a standard minor chord, and then I started at F sharp again, which is the key that it's in. It's just another minor chord, but I added this little tension note to kind of give it that more vintage feel, and yeah. And then over here, I just pitched it up 5 semitones. As you can see, it's still a minor chord, but I just removed the 5th. That would be right here. I just took that out because it sounded good. Just do whatever sounds good to you. Yeah, just same thing over here, except this part right here, I switched it up, and instead of being in minor natural, I went to minor harmonic. And what I did was I just started stacking the notes. This is G sharp, and I just started stacking the notes up. And yeah, until it sounded good. But I removed the 7th right here, and that's just what I did. It's the regular chord right here, and then I just pasted that chord up an octave. But yeah, very simple. This is what it sounds like. One thing that I do recommend doing is strumming your chords. As you can see here, all of my chords are strummed. What that does is it kind of gives it like a realistic feel, as if somebody's like genuinely playing the keys, and it makes it sound more live instead of just like computerized and like drawn in. The next thing I did was I went to Keyscape and I grabbed this, just the standard C7 grand piano preset out of Keyscape. I just laid down these low octave piano notes. Alright, then what I did next was I went to JV 1080, and I got this MK80 phaser preset. I think it's an electric piano. Yeah, it's an electric piano. I just took that first melody from Keyscape and I just layered it. The next thing I did was I went to SRX Orchestra and I grabbed this legato vinyl preset. And this is literally like my favorite thing to do with these Florida type beats is just throw some high string or high pitch strings in here. Very simple melody with the strings. Literally all it's doing is just it's following the 5th of the chord. As you can see, it just follows the 5th notes of the chord. And yeah, very simple. It's literally one of my favorite things to do. It gives it so much flavor. I don't know, it just gives it that vintage feel. What I like to do with those strings is I like to make it like real subtle. As you can see with the strings, the velocity is low, and the volume's turned down a little bit, but I also like to add a shaper box and put a panning on it so it goes from left to right. But yeah, also the effects on the piano, just a basic EQ, basic compression, my favorite chorus plugin, Juno 60, and just some reverb. The next thing I did was I added my ear candy. It's just a couple wall sounds The first one's from Synology. It's the EPY preset. And the second one is a preset from Lounge Lizard. I think it's called Y Sync or something, but yeah. The next thing I did was I added my bass. And what I did was I layered the basses. The first one with a pluck guitar, trying to find a preset, and the second one is just a regular bass guitar, muted guitar strum preset from Triton. And the second one is the new finger bass preset. I layered them both. It made it sound like more realistic. I didn't like how it sounded with just the bass playing, so I layered it with the pluck sound. Yeah, very simple pattern. I just threw in some of these transition notes, and yeah. And then after that, I just add some more ear candy to it. I added a little guitar wah, one shot, some wind chimes, and a little ride. But yeah, all together, this is what the loop sounds like. So moving on to the drums, what I did was I pitched the loop up 3 semitones. It'd be A minor instead of F sharp minor. But yeah, for the drums, I just added a snare, hitting where the snare regularly hits at. Then I added a little punchy kick to it. I wasn't trying to use an 808. 808 just didn't really fit in with it. I let the little bass guitar play as the main bass. Yeah, I added a little punchy kick. The next thing I did was I added my hi-hats. The first one is just a regular 2-step hi-hat, but I added a little, I added another hi-hat that kind of accents to it and hits a little offbeat. Then I added an open hat that's layered with the kick that hits twice every bar. Very simple, it just makes it hit a little bit harder. Next thing I did was I just added my perks. I added a little crash going on. And yeah, all together, that's what the drum sounds like. Mixing wise, I just leveled all my sounds. I panned some of my perks. And yeah, on the master, I just had an EQ, boosting the lows, boosting the mid a tad bit, and boosting the highs a very tad bit. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching this video. Here's what the full beat sounds like. And yeah.